The stone statue stood in front of Sejun proudly and stated, "I'm the great black dragon, Atan Fratani, Aileen's father." Sejun was shocked by this. Aileen's father. Moreover, how could a stone statue? The statue interrupted him. This statue is infused with ancient golem magic. It was originally intended to be activated when Aileen is in trouble. But for some reason, the warp gate won't open. Right now, we're in a position where we can't enter the Black Tower or exercise any authority. Fortunately, we hold the right to use this statue, and when it was awakened and warped to the 99th floor, I was able to faintly detect the signal from outside the tower, allowing me to control its movements. And upon further confirmation, I found out that you saved Aileen from her dragon heart rampage. Then it bowed to Sejun. "Thank you." Seeing the statue bowing, Sejun was a bit flustered. "No, haha. I just did what I should have done." Sejun politely replied, but Aileen's father had some more to say. "You must have guessed roughly, too, but the Black Tower isn't being properly managed, so I'd like to get a bit of your help in the future." Sejun was puzzled. "My help? What kind of help?" The statue politely requested, "I want you to take over the tower's management on behalf of Aileen." Sejun couldn't digest it. "Sorry? Me? Manage the Black Tower?" he hurriedly explained as it was a great responsibility. "I'm just a tower farmer with no special abilities. Moreover, I can't get out of the 99th floor, and I can't even get rid of those approaching Ents either." Then he pointed towards the Ents' army. The gigantic blue moon-corrupted Ent was leading the army. The black rabbit alerted Sejun, "Uncle, the Ents are closing by." But Aileen's father was firm in his decision. "No, you have more than enough power to handle this situation. We'll help you with the impossible stuff, so don't worry." Sejun became puzzled. "Sorry? Then the statue looked up in the sky and suddenly roared toward Sejun. "Park Sejun! I'm Kaiser Fratani, Aileen's grandfather." Sejun was startled and fell to the ground. The statue came closer to Sejun's face and gritted its teeth. "Ugh, I can't see my granddaughter because of you. If it were up to me, I'd love to crush you with my fingers, but you are too important to be gone." Sejun was really scared this time, but he didn't want to be impolite, so he greeted the dragon. Hello, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Park Sejun. I don't really know, but I do apologize for the inconvenience." Seeing that Sejun was scared of him, the dragon laughed. "Ha, that's right. You're more polite than I thought." Then he looked up to the sky. "Let's talk about the details later. First, shall we get rid of these rotten weeds?" Then he leapt towards the sky. Sejun and the rabbit could only watch him with their mouth wide open. The storm created by the dragon was so intense that Sejun and the rabbits had to hold on to each other. The dragon flew in the sky, unfolding his wings, and then he looked down to those rotten weeds. The blue flame was forming in his mouth, and all the scales had lit up with bluish hue. The wings had turned sharper than before, and it looked majestic. The dragon used his power to produce a blue flame ball and shot it towards the Ents' army. As the blue ball was falling, it was growing bigger and bigger. When it reached the Ents' army, it had turned into an explosive and a massive ball. All the little rotten ones turned into ashes, and it exploded on the gigantic corrupted one. It was a massive explosion which turned the ground upside down. It felt like a volcanic eruption impacting the whole surrounding. But Aileen was sleeping so soundly that she couldn't notice at all. Well, she might be dreaming about Sejun. Coming back to the explosion, it had turned into a fire pit that could fit a massive dragon into it. The big bear protected Sejun, and Quang protected the rabbits from this explosion. Seeing the smoke still coming out, Sejun was astonished. Wow, he just obliterated a mountain. Is this the true power of a dragon? While the dragon was still hovering over the sky, he called him Park Sejun. Sejun was startled. Yes, the dragon ordered. "Go to the place where those weeds have died. You'll find an item that'll be helpful to you." Sejun was puzzled but still complied and went near the pit. Well, it shouldn't be called a pit. The heat had not subsided yet, so Sejun told the rabbits to wait on the edges for now, and went in with Quang and the black rabbit on his shoulder. When they were near the center, Quang noticed something. "Dad, there's something shiny there." It was shining with a bluish hue which looked like a big seed. Sejun knelt to check while Quang went to check the other side. "Is this the item that Kaiser Nim was talking about?" Sejun held it in his hand, and then the status window showed, "You have acquired Corrupted Ent's enchanted seed, and upon consumption, all the stats would increase by 10. It was a grade A product, and if it was left to the ground, the seed will germinate and grow into a powerful Corrupted Ent." Sejun was amazed reading this. Corrupted Ent's enhanced seed. At that moment, the dragon landed beside Sejun. "Eat it, Park Sejun. Then, your weak body will become slightly stronger. If the seed is left like that, it'll grow back into that monster from before again. So eat it and get rid of it before that happens." Sejun was disgusted by thinking of the Ent's zombies. He asked, "It doesn't feel right to eat a corrupted seed, though? May I eat it after cooking it later?" The dragon was shocked. "Cooking it? Are you saying you can cook?" Sejun replied in affirmation. But the dragon couldn't believe it. "Do you have that thing you call cooking right now?" Sejun searched his pockets. "No, I don't. But I have some cherry tomatoes that I was going to eat previously." But the dragon wanted to see it. "What? Give me one. I ought to see if it's dangerous or not." Sejun handed over to him. "Here it is. But how?" Seeing his confusion, the dragon replied while putting the tomatoes in his mouth. "The stone statue's mouth contains a warp device that can easily transport items. If the stone statue swallows it, it'll be transported to where I am. On the other side, where father and grandfather reside, the system dinged. Items have been transported." The old dragon grinned as he received the cherry tomatoes. Then he thoroughly checked it. "So this is the item that made my Aileen's dragon heart race?" On the other hand, Father Dragon was checking the system record of how Sejun and his pet gang had transformed the 99th floor with farming. Seeing that Quang and others were using the red locusts as food material, Father Dragon was surprised and was thinking, "The monsters and humans are eating red locusts. When did the red locusts infiltrate the tower? Is it recent? No. If even their corpses can be transported up to the 99th floor like that, quite a bit of time must have passed." It's surprising that he thought about cooking and eating those troublesome creatures that feed on corpses and multiply. Well, it's not our business, but with that method, the monsters living in the tower will have less to worry about famine, and those various edible items with different effects. It was also thanks to those crops that Aileen's dragon heart improved. Father Dragon was in great thought. A tower farmer, a job that even I, who has been managing the tower for a long time, don't know about in detail. To think that tower farmer became a hope that could help Aileen. I'll have to look further into it soon. Still in his thoughts when Dragon Grandfather came running to him. "Anton!" Father Dragon turned back. "Father, what's wrong? You have to uphold the dignity of the head of a family. If you run like that..." But the old dragon was so excited. "Never mind that, look at this," and showed the magic cherry tomato. Father Dragon was puzzled. "Isn't this the item called crops that the tower farmer gave Aileen? Did you get it transported through the golem? Could it be that there's a problem with it?" he anxiously asked. But the old dragon excitedly said, "It's so tasty." Father Dragon got even more confused. "Eh?" On Sejun's side, the statue had been paused for a long time, so Sejun called him, "Kaiser Nim, Kaiser Nim." But no one responded. "What's going on?" After getting the cherry tomatoes, the stone statue stopped moving. "Why? I'll have to go back for now. Guys, let's go!" But both Quang and the black rabbit were looking at something ignoring him. Then he reached and urged them. "Guys, what are you doing? We should go." The black rabbit answered, "Uncle, look, Quang is being stubborn." Seeing his dad, Quang happily asked him, "Dad, can I take this home?" But what Quang wanted to take home was the big branch from the gigantic corrupted Ent. I want to have a weapon just like Brother Black Rabbit, he insisted. But Sejun didn't agree. It looks very sturdy, but we can't take it home. It's too big. Hearing this, Quang turned sad. We can't? It even has a name for it, what a shame. But then he got an idea. Sejun was telling him to go home first, then they would find him a nice weapon. But then he noticed that the corrupted Ent's branch was moving, shocking Sejun. Ah! Quang! I said we can't! But that branch turned into a smaller one matching Quang's height. Sejun was surprised. What the? It shrunk. Quang happily said to his dad, Dad, this was an item. The status window stated that it was strengthened by blue moon energy, and by infusing it with mana, its size could be adjusted at will. Well, this blue moon day was the most shocking blue moon that had ever happened to Sejun. He praised Quang. That worked out well, Quang. Quang happily stood with his new weapon, feeling proud. Well, for Sejun, in the diary of getting lost in the tower, Quang got a new friend, which was his new weapon.